to the Quiet Warrior Show, where we help top leaders find their pathway to incredible success and a lifetime of happiness. Here is your host, Tom Dutta, the Quiet Warrior.
Well, welcome to the Quiet Warrior Show. My name is Tom Dutta, and I am the Quiet Warrior. And I'm excited about this show because I have a special guest on, and here he is. His name is Tom Dutta. Hey, Tom, welcome to the show. Hey, it's great to be here. I'm just kidding. For those of you who haven't heard before, I do solo talks in between my guest episodes. And well, this one's very special. In fact, it is the eve of Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2019. And may this be a legacy for many of you because you're all contributing to this show in some way. About a week or so ago, I had this idea, and it came from somewhere in my heart, deep in my soul. Somebody sent me something and said, this is magical. It's a magical time of the year. And then I thought, every time I think about that word magical, I don't necessarily think about Christmas or my childhood. Many of you know my backstory. My childhood was great, but then it wasn't great because of my parents who split up, and my dad was a bit of a drinker. And well, that's all in my book, The Way of the Quiet Warrior. You can check out that. And if you read my book, by the way, the chapter called The Boy is actually about my life. Anyway, back to reality here. What I'm trying to say to you is that when I think of the word magical, I think of magical being Disneyland. When I used to go to Disneyland back then, and I remember taking my young daughter and my two stepsons to that with my wife, Anna, everything there was magical. It just felt magical. What does that mean to me? It just means that the things there, everything is possible, that what appears to be not logical is a reality. You know, the world of Disney has created magic. They've created rides and illusions that give you every sense of feeling and emotion, and you just never forget that. They say it's not what you say, but what you make people feel that they'll remember forever. And well, magical thoughts always come and leave with me from Disneyland. Now, I haven't been to Disneyland for a long time, but I thought if that's the meaning of magical to me, I visualize the experiences I had even as a kid in Disneyland. What does the word magical mean to you at this time of the year? It's Christmas. Now, this is not a religious show, so I honor everybody who celebrate any kind of celebration, or even if Christmas isn't that meaning to you, I honor everybody that this time of the year can be and is magical if you believe, and you take your thoughts and you attach the meaning of magic to it. What do I mean by that? Well, we're the only species that can attach a different meaning to any thought. So when I think of this time of the year, I'm going to, for this episode, attach the meaning of magic. So what I did is I said, well, instead of sharing all my own ideas, I'll just go out to all of you and ask you, what is a magical thought that you'd like me to share on the show? And the floodgates opened. I had emails and social media responses come in, and I apologize if I miss anybody today, but I got them all in a jar in front of me on pieces of paper, and I'm randomly going to pull them out and read them to you. So stay tuned till the very end so you can hear all the magical thoughts. And then I'll wrap up with my magical thought for this time of the year and leave you to have a magical Christmas and holiday season and kick off the new year with even more magic. So here we go. Well, the first one, let's see here. You can hear my papers coming out of the jar here. My first one is from Jimmy. Jimmy is a great man. He's a great father. Christmas Day with your children. That's it. What a magical thought. Sometimes less is more. Thank you, Jimmy. Christmas Day with your children. What an incredible, incredible thought. Whether you have children or not, or whether you can experience and find children and just watch them play innocently, there's some magic there. Appreciate that, Jimmy. Well, let's see. Oh my gosh, this one is from Anna. My wife Anna. How magical that she sent me a magical thought. And she says, may the love we carry in our hearts towards others at Christmas be carried throughout the year. Thank you, Anna. Anna and I met, as some of you know, in our careers through the banking industry, 24 years coming up now, and we've had many magical moments in our marriage. And, well, she was born just in the town outside of Rome called Palena, Italy, and came to this country as an immigrant, and so did I. And so we're creating magic together in a relationship with experiences from all different parts of the world. Thank you, Anna. Here's my next one from Don. I'm going to honor Don. I've met him through business. Don is also a adjunct professor at a local university here in British Columbia, the West Coast. Don also is a teacher, and he's got a young family. He said, it always seems impossible until it's done. Well, he didn't say that. He's quoting Nelson Mandela. Let me say that again. He said, Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it's done. And so I asked Don, I said, what does that mean to you? And he replied, it means anything is possible. Wow, what a magical thought, everybody. Doesn't matter what is happening in your life today, whether it's good or not so good, whether you're excited or you've lost some hope that things will be better. Anything is possible. Thank you, Don. All right, here's our next one. This is from Troy. Troy says, a kind word or a negative word creates one's future. Be wise in what you say. When you tell someone that you believe in them, it just may change their entire life. Wow, there's magic in that thought, Troy. You're a magical human being, Troy. I love this. You send me in a direction in my mind in so many areas, because Troy's getting into now what I believe and what I teach and know. And we have two minds, the subconscious mind. Well, I'm not going to get into a lecture here on that, but words matter, and our subconscious minds don't know the difference between positive and negative words. And so choose your words wisely. When you tell someone that you believe in them, it just may change their entire world. Create magic this time of the year and tell somebody you believe in them. Thank you, Troy. All right, here's another one. Oh my eyes just passed over this quickly, and I've got a pit in my throat and in my stomach, a little bit emotional. And well, I'm just going to read it from Aaron. Thank you so much, Aaron. Aaron says, all of my loved ones passed on are spending Christmas with me, just in a new magical form. Make sure that you see the magic. Aaron, I'm starting to get emotional. My dad died early January. My wife's parents passed away this time of the year. We have little mementos around our house. I'm sitting in my studio, my mobile studio, in my living room next to my Christmas tree. And over on my left, I see a little shrine with pictures of our parents. And then on the tree, I have little ornaments that are indications of memories from those who have passed on. I know some of you listening have lost loved ones, children, adults, grandparents. It doesn't matter. It's all so painful. But Aaron, what a gift that Christmas is about spending time with all of them in a new magical form, meaning memories and thoughts of great, great things that you experienced when they were here. And they're watching down from us like twinkling stars in the sky. I believe that. So make sure you see the magic this Christmas, everybody, from those who are passed on. Here's my next one from John W. Smith. John W. Smith is a wonderful human being. He's become a mentor to me. Once in a while, he pops up on my social media feed, feeding me his gifts of learning. He is a university educator down in the United States. He's become a friend. He's an author of a book called The Song of the Tree Frogs. He's written another one recently, but I met him and I fell in love with John's thoughts. They're all magical. He's got this side of him. He's creative. He's a movie producer, and his book, I just mentioned it, is going to be made into this movie. So watch for that. But here's the thing about John is he's got this fun side and he's got this childlike side to be able to create magic with his thoughts, just like all of the others. John says, the Christmas miracle comes from knowing God's presence in our lives. His presence is best shared amongst those he has sent into our lives. Whether family, friends, or those special people who become family, we must always allow the Christmas miracle, the Savior of the world, to shine on our hearts all year through. Wow, John, you've got me vibrating in my chair, buddy. Shine on our hearts all year through. There's a piece of that that's so magical to me. I wonder what all my listeners are saying right now, but John says shine on our hearts all year through, not just time of the year. What a gift. What a gift you've given us. Thank you so much, John Smith. I want to say at this point in time that this is not a denominational show and a religious show. I am believing in God. I believe in my God and my faith, and I believe this time of the year, Merry Christmas. I say it because Jesus Christ, well, he died for us on the cross for our sins, and all the things I've learned when my life was in shambles and I needed some faith and hope comes through the Bible, comes through my readings. And I have enough belief and understand that those words are magical thoughts if we let them guide us, if we don't try to figure it all out for ourselves. And so, John, thank you for that. And for all of you, whether you believe in a certain religion or not, it doesn't matter. We're all one human race, but magical thoughts come from everywhere. It doesn't matter what it is, even if it's your religion. All right, here's another one from Josh. This is a season for such wonderful thoughts. Wow. Josh, I can't believe you said that. Well, yeah, I can. I just read it. Josh is an amazing man. He's, again, one of my friends down from the United States who pops up once in a while on my social media feed. Josh has a young family and a beautiful wife. I know I've seen pictures of them. But he's creative, and I'm excited to say that he is the executive director and owner of Menning Films, which is an indie film company that's going to be making my book, The Way of the Quiet Warrior, which is about my life story, into a movie. Yes, I'm so excited. There'll be many magical thoughts that we'll be sharing through that with the world. Well, no commercial here for my movie, but a commercial for Josh's thought. This is the season for such wonderful thoughts. How magical is that, everybody? In that if we can just believe that this is a season where wonderful thoughts do belong, and if we all flood the world with wonderful thoughts, imagine the force and happiness that we'll create. Imagine what you can create in your home around the dinner table or around the Christmas tree if you have, or whatever it is, flooding with wonderful, magical thoughts. The power of that alone can change minds and change the world. I want to share with you that yesterday I took my granddaughter, Gemma, and I believe she's 8 now. Hope I didn't get that wrong. And well, she came in her little ballet outfit, and we went to the Nutcracker at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre, a beautiful venue in downtown Vancouver, British Columbia here, with my wife, Anna. Thank you, Anna, for getting those tickets for us. And while we were sitting, and I was just observing her and watching the magic from her expressions, from her little being. Kids are childlike. Their brains haven't developed. They don't reason and think like adults do, so they can be magical. They don't know what they're saying. They just say it. And they can be magical. And if you look closely at children, what comes out of them could be clues to your childhood and something that you forgot about that maybe, just maybe, is your passion, and you need to find it again. Well, wonderful thoughts this time of the year. I experienced that yesterday at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre when I looked around across maybe over 1,000 people. It was packed, and hearing all the little kids who were gleaming from their ear to ear and were squealing and making fascinating noises that kids make when they're seeing joy appear to them on the stage from a play like the Nutcracker. Just amazing. And that I could feel the force in that room. And what Josh said is so true. The wonderful thoughts were flooding the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. And as the doors opened, like wind blowing through the forest, it blew it throughout the land, throughout Vancouver, and it followed me home right onto the microphone today. I can't stop vibrating from yesterday. Thank you, Josh. Here's another one. This is from Dr. Kenneth Stevenson. I interviewed him on my radio show a couple of years ago, and his show is amazing. Did you know that he flew a B-52 bomber in the Vietnam War? And there was one moment that he talked about in his show where there was a magical moment. It was scary, but it was magical, where he had missile lock on his airplane, and he didn't know what was going to happen next. And he turned that into a magical thought, and it changed his life. If you hear his interview, it's amazing. Dr. Kenneth Stevenson, he says, at this most wonderful season of the year when we celebrate the birth of the Savior, we could be more magical than what could be more magical than the birth of a child. Then he goes on and he says, my firstborn daughter, December 28th. My first grandchild, also a girl, December 14th. My second granddaughter, December 24th. And to top it off, my wife's granddaughter herself was a Christmas baby, December 25th. A family legacy. That's simply amazing. Look at all of the birthdays happening in the same month, and that in itself is a magical thought. What could be more magical than the birth of a child? Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Kenneth Stevenson, for brightening our day. Oh, here's another one. Christmas is the most magical time of the year of reflection and contemplation. What could be more magical than the coming together of new friends who share a love for helping others, creating wonderful books that make people laugh, and share stories of hope and inspiration? Oh my gosh, my mind again is racing. My heart's grown 3 times. Remember The Grinch Who Stole Christmas? By the way, my favorite Dr. Seuss cartoon to watch when I grew up, and I have it on video still. We watch it with our kids. Remember the scene where the Grinch's heart grew 3 times listening to the Who's singing down in Whoville after he had stolen all their gifts and trees and left them with nothing? From that moment on, he changed. His heart was filled with magical thoughts because he heard magical thoughts coming from down below in the village. Isn't it amazing the power of emotion and magical thoughts? Well, he says, Donna says, Christmas is the most magical time of the year of reflection and contemplation. What could be more magical than the coming together of new friends who share love of helping others, creating wonderful books that make people laugh and share stories of hope and inspiration? I've probably said that again, Donna, because it's worthy of reflecting that here's a woman who has shared her gifts through stories. Now, I want to tell you a bit more about Donna because this is special. I reached out to Donna because I had just met her. And by the way, she's not just a writer of stories, but she illustrates children's books. And I'm excited to announce, and while I've been creeping it on Facebook a bit, that I'm writing my second book. And yes, it's a children's book. I'm so excited about it because I'm childlike. At least that's what my wife tells me. But you see, being a child and being happy and innocent is what brings me joy and happiness. And I wrote a story when I was in high school. I think I was 12 years old. And I got an A+++ from my teacher. And it was on an 8.5 by 11 legal size paper typed by pecking on a Olympia typewriter. Imagine that. There was no computers when I did that. Oh my gosh. And I lost that paper, but my teacher said, you need to write more. I remember my dad used to take that story and tell everybody about it. And I kept reading it. The story was called The Brave Dime. And I'm not going to tell you more, but it was a story I created from experiences that brought me joy, happiness, maybe a little escape into joy. And while I got on my computer about a month ago here, and I'm not going to tell you how many years later because I'm going to date myself, but I got on my computer and I rewrote that story out. And a friend of mine who's a fellow author said, you need to meet Donna. And when I met Donna, she showed me some images of a illustration she'd done. And she does classic Disney style illustrations. They are spectacular, amazing, incredible. I know I'm biased, but I have to say, when you see the illustrations in my book, when it's published next year, they are going to blow your mind and every child is going to love them. And by the way, for my granddaughter's coming over on Christmas Day here, I have a poster that she's done for me with the first scene out of my book. It's actually a store, and that's all I'm going to tell you. And it's full of stuff and people, and, well, it's magical, and it looks like a Disney creation. Thank you so much, Donna, and I went on too long there, but am I making you feel magical about the ability to turn paper with magical thoughts into joy and happiness from others? Unbelievable how the magic of thoughts can work. My second to last one is from somebody who's very special. I don't know if he knows I feel that way about him, but I might have told him that when I talked to him last time. When I thought of the word magical, I thought of Disneyland, as I mentioned, and I thought, do I know anybody who really is in that world in a special way? Well, many of you have been there, but I'm talking about somebody who maybe was part of creating that. Of course, I can't say Walt Disney, I knew him, but I can go to Disneyland and see his background and his picture, and his thoughts are everywhere. By the way, did you know that Walt Disney was fired from a job, and they said that he wasn't creative? He was actually a writer. They said he wasn't creative enough. Go figure. Well, that's the power of believing in yourself, right? Well, anyway, so I reached out to Lee Cockrell. I'm telling you his last name because he's got a profile that's bigger than life. But Lee was the executive vice president of Disney World Resort, and also prior to that was with Marriott Hotels. He lived his life to bring joy and happiness and magic to the people who came to those places. When you go to Disneyland, the Magic Kingdom, and the most happiest place on earth, and the magical thoughts that you experience there, well, Lee was responsible for making that so around the world with his team of actors, or cast members, they call it. Anyway, I digress. Here's Lee's, and the power of Lee's is it's 7. I'm counting on my paper here. It's 7 words. Sometimes less is more, but this is what Lee said. Every season is a season to be nice. That's it. Wow, what a powerful thought. Thank you so much. But every season is a season to be nice. And of course, the cast members at Disney World all over the world, all the theme parks, have to be nice to people every day. And as we know, we live in a reality where there's a lot of unnice thoughts out there and we have to fight them. Well, guess what? Disney World taught people how to be nice all the time, how to be nice to others. What a powerful thought, Lee, that we can do that. We have the power to do that, the human emotion, to change our thoughts and the meaning of them. So everybody, every season is the season to be nice, not just this Christmas holiday season. Thank you so much, Lee, for that magic. And finally, here's mine. I just made this up, by the way. From everything I've heard, I'm getting excited here, thinking about my daughter, who, by the way, is coming home from New Brunswick, the other side of Canada. I haven't seen her in a year. She's my baby at 22 years old. Now she's still my baby, but she's magic when she walks in a room. And I can't explain why. You just have to know her. But here's mine. Become a child again at Christmas. Watch children play. Watch their innocence. And you just might find and discover your true passion. They say if you want to know what your passion is, because many people don't understand how to find that, go watch children play. Be childlike. Go play children's games with somebody and get excited and maybe get a catalog of courses that children take and go take courses and experience different things. Because really, in the first 10 years of her life is where a lot of the magic comes from, those passions, those magical thoughts that when we were innocent as children, we didn't have that crust that builds up from life and all the negative thoughts that sometimes come from the world around us. We were born golden and innocent. And so going back and experiencing that at Christmas through other children is amazing. I want to tell you that, my Christmas experience that I remember, it wasn't that good because of what happened in my home. And I'm not going to talk about it on the show. You can read my book and hear more of my episodes. But I came from not so good a home. My dad's passed away now, and he is my best friend again. But it wasn't good back then for various reasons. But I still remember that Christmas Eve, sitting around the Christmas tree. I remember the Sears catalog. Did anybody out there remember that? I used to phone order from a catalog and everything was going to be delivered. There was no internet. There was no Amazon back then. I still remember going through that catalog, sleeping with it, holding it. The Christmas Wish book, it was called, is gone now, but I remember that. And that was part of my experience of magical, seeing things that I dreamed of and sitting around the Christmas tree waiting for a present to be opened. You see, we opened a present at midnight on Christmas Eve. We went to midnight mass, or we experienced that when times were good. We had our own traditions. Christmas Day was usually the dinner for the family and opening gifts in the morning. I couldn't wait. I never slept. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for all the sleep deprivation over my lifetime. No wonder why I fall asleep in the afternoon. Just kidding. But boy, I today want to be a child. Every time of the year, I say this is my most favorite time of the year, everyone. Why? I can have magical thoughts all throughout the year. It's work for me to do that because my mind isn't always positive. But this time of the year, I want to be a kid again. And so I dance around and I do things and I decorate and I put up the village and I'm childlike, opening gifts and I'm asking for things that maybe I wanted when I was a kid. It is the magical time of the year to become that innocent child again. To all the children in the world, thank you for being an example of what magical thoughts might look like. Well, everybody, that's all for now. I'm going to wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Holiday Seasons. Doesn't matter what religion you are, or what this time of the year means. It's all good and magical. And thank you for listening to the Quiet Warrior Show. It means a lot to me. We've done so many episodes and we're rolling now. The format in 2020 will stay the same. It'll be guest interviews sandwiched with solo interviews from Tom. My listeners are telling me they want to hear more from my voice. Well, here I am, being crazy and silly and being childlike, sharing with you magical thoughts. Make it a magical, magical day. Happy Christmas Eve, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Quiet Warrior Show. Create is a motive-based leadership development firm. www.kreat.ca.